Hi, and welcome back to Boss Wife. I am your host, Ebony. Here is where you will get your motivation for the week. Here is where you will get the tools and tips to learn how to play, laugh, and live hard, unapologetically. Here is where you will learn how to erase the lines of the box because you realize you cannot be contained. Here is where you will learn how to show up for yourself. Here is where the most powerful transition will begin in your life. Welcome to Boss Wife. Hey guys, I'm so glad you guys can join me on tonight. So tonight I'm excited because I just wanted to do a short recap of last week with Dr. Cheryl Randolph. She was definitely a very important part of my career. She was definitely a very pivotal point for me. Just the whole atmosphere and the whole conversation was definitely phenomenal. I have grown so much more. Even in that moment, I was growing. Like, I didn't even really want to talk because I just wanted her to talk the whole time. And I felt okay with that. But it was just the fact that she took time out of her career, of her life, of her motherhood, of her jobs, everything that she's doing to just sit down with me and to share a platform with me and to share her ideas and her opinions and her knowledge and her wisdom, everything that she's learned over the years. And I'm just grateful for that. I'm so glad that you guys were a part of that with me. It is definitely not going to be the last time. She will probably be back on Boss Wife at some point of this career, but I'm just glad that she was my first guest because anyone from there definitely has to level up, right? Because everything that she was saying was just like steak, like it was like the best part of the meal, and it was like from beginning to end, like we ate steak the whole entire time, filet mignon, whatever, like the best part of your meal, that's what it was. And it was just amazing. It was amazing how a small topic was just incredibly loaded with so much information. So again, I just want to say thank you. If she's listening, to anyone who follows her, listens to her, goes attends her church, you guys definitely get her book, definitely download her music or buy the CD. I'm not really sure how that goes nowadays because we all YouTube stuff or Spotify or whatever, but definitely invest in her, definitely, because she is remarkable. She is just wonderful. So again, thank you so much, Dr. Pastor Randolph. All right, so getting down to the topic of tonight, I wanted to talk about yesterday, and not literally. So I want to talk about the yesterday in your life, the moment you said, oh wow, or OMG, or oh crap, or doggone, like that yesterday. So we all have a reflecting point in our lives where we look back and we say, let me ponder on this, or let me be contemplating on this, or let me try to figure out what it was that I missed, or let me figure out how I did that. Like, oh my goodness, just a moment where we're reflecting on something that didn't really sink in until we've passed that moment, and in everything that we do, that's like my phrase, right? Because I say that all the time, but I mean, seriously, like in everything that we do, there's gonna be a moment where we don't take it seriously, or there's gonna be a moment where we don't take it, or we take it for granted. And then there's going to be that moment where you don't take what you've learned or what you've overcame or what you've accomplished for granted, and as a woman, as a mother, as a entrepreneur, as a mompreneur, as I like to say, as a businesswoman in corporate America, like in your existence period, there should always be a moment where you say, let me stop, let me sit down, let me reflect, let me deliberate. Like, let me ponder, let me meditate, let me celebrate, let me acknowledge. Those moments are the moments that we live for, because it's a changing point of some sort, right? So it can be a changing point between a really bad relationship, and not just sexual relationship, because we need companionship in every form. So it can be a turning point in your mother-daughter relationship, or your father-daughter relationship. It can be a turning point in you and your child, you and your spouse. So relationships overall are very, very important. And I feel that at some point, we all have that one relationship where we're like, holy crap, what just happened? As women, if you haven't gone through this is all, that's awesome. I do know a few people who have married their first and their only. I'm one of those. And there are a few people who have gone through those relationships where they're like, what was I thinking? And even in those women who've been in those one-time relationships like me, myself, there are moments where I still look back and was like, what was I thinking? Or, those women who've dated guys and they've been like, I don't hate that person, but I'm appreciative of everything that we went through together, because I have learned, I've grown, I have changed, I've evolved. And of course, there are some relationships that we just have no business being in, but you still learn something from it. You still have a takeaway from everything that we go through in life, because there's always a reason why we come in contact with anyone that we come in contact with. So at those moments, those are grateful moments as well as holy crap moments. So a few things that I wanted to discuss as well were, you're feeling too comfortable in your life. When you feel like you want to change your life, or you feel like you want to make a difference and start doing something that's unexpected of you, or doing something that you're not supposed to do, quote unquote. So we get trapped, right? We get to these points where life hits us and we say, okay, we're not really saying we're going to settle, but we're really saying, this is it. It's all I want to do. This is all I have the energy to do. This is all I want to put. This is all the effort that I want to put into anything, and then we just settle. We start finding things in life that soothe us during those moments. For me, it was food. For you, it may be a bad relationship. For our sister, it may be, her personality or her identity. Let me say it like that. Like, how women go through different identity crises, so those may be things that soothe them. They're like, oh, hey, let me make a change to my hair drastically, or hey, let me make a change to my body drastically. And if you do those things properly, and if you do those things with the great intentions behind them of improving yourself, that's all fine and dandy. Because I'm a woman, and I can tell you, I have no idea how many hairstyles that I've had, right? So I'm not throwing shade or throwing judgment to anyone who wants to change the way they look or whatever. But what I am saying is, we find soothers in life. So to those women who say, let me do a drastic change to my identity, is really saying, I want to drastically change my life, I just don't know how. Or I want to drastically change my mindset, I just don't know how. So we need to find that common ground where we have someone to reach out to, that our circle is tight enough, or is important enough to the people around us that we can reach out for that lifesaver. We can reach out for that person that's been where we are, and we're too ashamed to say, I am in this particular position and I don't know how to get out of it, or I don't know if I want to even get out of it. And that in itself is extremely deep, because I have a platform of life coaching that I do for confidence, which is probably pretty obvious, but I also do domestic violent relationships for women that have been in domestic violence and are coming out of them, or I also give tips on how to look for things, look for signs. So in that particular area of my life, I give advice on Stockholm syndrome, because people don't realize it's not all the time where we've been kidnapped. Sometimes we go into stuff voluntarily, and once we get in them, we're like, I'll take that abuse. I'll take that physical abuse. I'll take that mental abuse. I'll take that emotional abuse because of who I want you to be or who I need you to be to me. And then they don't realize that you're wanting to stay in that position. And it's hard. Sometimes it's really hard to say, wait a minute, I don't deserve this. Wait a minute, I deserve better. And a lot of times we ask ourselves, well, why do I deserve better? Or do I really deserve better? Or I don't deserve better. I will never be better. And it's okay to accept those thoughts because, like I said, once you can identify and you can expose those lies and you can expose those negative thoughts and you can expose those negative feelings, that is a great moment because that's your turning point. That's your aha moment. So, let's talk to that person. Let's interview that person. Let's say, hey, come out of that corner because I need you to get out of my life. I need to evict you. I need to remove you, every trace of evidence that was ever here of you. And the fact of that matter is, it's not going to happen. Stay with me. It's not going to happen because we all have negative thoughts, right? But they don't have to be damning. And I'm not cursing. But they don't have to be damning to us. They don't have to be detrimental to my mental health. They don't have to be detrimental to my emotional state where I can't take care of my kids. I can't move on with my life. I can't focus on my job. I can't even evolve as a person. So those moments, those thoughts, those situations, that's what we need to evict. Now, that everyday moment where negative stuff creeps in and it's like, oh crap, I misspelled something on that test, or oh crap, I left the stove on, let me turn around. In those moments we tend to really down ourselves because we feel like, crap, I should have known better. I should have did this better. I should have, slow down, Ebony, take your time, do this, do that. Yes, we're going to always have those moments, but it's easy to quiet that down because that's us, right? Nobody's putting that on us. Nobody's taking anything from us. So it's easy for us to do that. Now, when you're in this moment and you're soothing yourself and you're saying, it's okay, let me patronize myself, let me feed myself into this, let me sugarcoat it, for myself, let me pacify myself. Those moments are very detrimental to us. And we have to be able to expose them. We have to be able to change them. So looking for an escape is very important because if we choose to stay there because we're afraid of change, then you're gonna have a life full of regrets. And my biggest motto is to try to live my life with less regrets because we only get one life. And if we don't step out of our comfort zone, if we don't step out of our insecurities, if we don't step out of our fear, of our oh doggone moment, you are going to have a very miserable life when you hit 60, 70, 80, 90. When you look over your yesterday, you want to always be able to say, I might not have hit my mark, but I came darn close to it, right? When you look over your yesterday, you want to say, dang, Ebony, why did you let yourself go through that? But you know what? I thank that moment. I thank you for exposing me to it because now I know what to look for in my future. I know what to look for in my tomorrow. Just like reflecting back on the podcast from last week, I am darn sure that I am very proud of it because I stepped out. She was my first interview, right? So I had to do a few things. I had to come out of my comfort zone. I had to make an interview. I had to make a connection with somebody who I knew of that had no idea of who I was. A person that I follow on Instagram and have been for years. I had to make a connection with that person, and I had to step out of my comfort zone. I had to do something I've never done before. Set up an interview, right? Set up a meeting place, set up details, bring my equipment. I had to do all these little small things to get to that big moment. And I don't regret it. And now that I've done that, now I can take that and say, okay, that's one step. Let me put another block on it. So now that's 2. Let me put another block on that. So now that's 3. So now I'm building an empire. Now I'm evolving. Now I'm changing myself. Now I am expanding my mind. As women, we tend to think I have nothing left in me. I got 4 kids, and I can easily say that. I have 4 kids, a whole husband. And when I say a whole husband, ladies, I mean a man that he's a preacher. So that means that I'm very involved in church. Even if he wasn't a preacher, I'm a church baby. So let me just throw that out there. Full disclosure. I was involved in church before I even met him. But even more so now, I take my ministry a lot more serious because I'm not just representing myself. This is a man of God that I'm married to. So my husband is a minister. He has a full-time job. He has his own business that he's running. He has a mother. He has a father. He has a sister. He has nieces and nephews. He has brothers. I have a whole husband. That means everything that he does in his life includes me, right? So then I got 4 kids, 2 girls, 2 boys. They all play sports, and they don't just play one. No, they want to play all 5, whatever is offered, they do. And it's not just for school. My youngest one does AAU, football and basketball. My girls play volleyball for the YMCA. Like, I have a whole family, so I can easily say, oh no, I have nothing left. I can't invest in nothing else. I can't expand my life. Why? I'm tired. I'm tired as it is. And I think, and here comes that soothing mechanism. Let me sit down and eat. Let me sit down and rest. Let me sit down and just watch TV. Let me sit down and just kick my feet up and just think about nothing. Because I deserve it. And yes, ladies, you do. I'm not going to take that away from you. You absolutely deserve everything that I just named. But what you don't deserve is to live in a body that's trapping you from enjoying your life. And I can say that because I'm working on my weight. And you guys know I'm gonna be very open with you about who I am and what I'm doing and what I'm going through, because it's to help somebody else. And I struggle with my weight. I do. I just lost 62 pounds. I have gained 7 pounds back. I was working out really, really good. I was eating really, really good. And then I got a new job, and then I started bending more. And I noticed that my knee was in excruciating pain. I had pulled my ACL, then I have a tear in my meniscus. And so I've been using it as a crutch not to do anything, right? And I'm just going to be honest with y'all. Like, I could have been doing upper body stuff, but now I have an excuse. Oh, Ebony, your kids got games. You got to do this. Your husband needs this. We got this going on at church. Or not at church, because we're not in church right now, but we still have, youth rehearsal maybe once a month or whatever, like, I have been making excuses. I'm tired. Well, so I'm allowing myself to be trapped in a body that is hindering me from doing what I want to do, or things that I deserve to do. I deserve to get up every morning, leave up out of my house, go do what I want to do, come back home, still have energy to put into my kids' lives, still have energy for my husband. I deserve that, because I work hard to build what I have. So by me allowing soothers, comfort, to take away something that I worked hard for, I should, and I do. I feel ashamed. But I'm also exposing it. Because when you expose a lie, when you expose the enemy, when you expose something that is wrong, then it means you're trying to fix it. You're taking back ownership of that moment. And now that I have exposed it, I would be even more wrong if I didn't try to fix it, right? Or if I didn't try to correct it. So when you want to sit down and you say, no, this is it, guess what you're doing? You're taking away from somebody else's journey. You're hindering somebody else that's looking at you. You're hindering somebody else that God has said, okay, wait a minute, you stay right there, because this person over here, the gift that I've put in them, it's going to help you boom. It's going to help you bloom. It's going to help you expand. It's going to help you do so many things in this world that I've called you to do. But we're just going to wait 5 more minutes on Ebony to get up off the couch. So, ladies, don't allow those soothers to take hold of your life, right? Don't get Stockholm syndrome with your food. And that's deep, y'all. Like, because I love food, right? But food don't love me. And let me tell you what my favorite food is. French fries has been from day one. My favorite drink, everybody who knows me knows, is Dr. Pepper. And so I'm in a transition right now in my life. And so now I'm trying to do the smoothies. Now I realize my kids have picked up my eating habits. And, you know, I didn't gain weight till I got pregnant. But I still don't, you know, my mom used to tell me all the time, Ebony, a minute on your lips, forever on your hips. I'm like, girl, whatever, you fine, I'm going to be fine. You know, not true. I get my genetic gene makeup from my father's side of the family, not my mother's. So, and even my mom gained weight after she had my brother. But it's just a simple fact that, you know, I was kicking myself like, Ebony, you should have listened. Because when you're building those bad habits and you're constantly supporting those bad habits, when you get 30, your body don't care if you are trying to lose weight. Like, no, it's like, no, I've had all these pounds all these years. I want to hold on to them. So now you got to work extra hard to break something that you should have never even started, you know? And so those are my crutches, right? And, you know, when I was posting things on Facebook, when I was working out, my goal was, or my favorite thing to say was, I am conquering me. And if you don't put something out there saying, if you don't expose yourself, let me just say that, if you don't expose that thing that's hindering you or keeping you back, that soother, that comfort zone, expose it. Because if you don't, you have nothing to build up to. I hope that made sense. I really do. I'm very passionate about this topic because it has brought so much pain and suffering to my life. So I understand and I can sympathize with people who are 10 pounds overweight, 30 pounds overweight, 40 pounds overweight. You know, I can sympathize with you. I can definitely understand that soother moment. Those soothers in life. I can definitely understand that Stockholm syndrome with that thing that does not love you back, but you love everything about it. I can definitely connect with you on that. And I'll be the first to tell you, you know I need to lose weight. So I'm taking steps towards it. And then I feel like when my life gets extremely, extremely busy, I'll be the first to tell you, yeah, I'll run through a drive-thru because I got 4 kids in my car that's saying, Mom, I'm hungry, Mom, I'm hungry. You know, that they've been running errands with me. They've been doing stuff for me all day. And I'm like, dang, I gotta feed them. And I get to smelling it. And I'm like, oh, it smells so good. You know, so I'll be the first to tell you, yes, I fall. But exposing those things, realizing it, not being blindsided by it, not ignoring it, not saying, oh, it's okay. Don't patronize yourself, ladies. Don't pacify yourself. Don't sugarcoat stuff. Like, just be real with yourself, you know? Don't build on those bad blocks. Release them, reject them, evict them. Because we're going to, like I said, we're going to have enough of that throughout our day. So let's take the day that we're in and leave the past behind us. Let's leave that yesterday where it is. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to talk about was pretty much not taking up residency in your conflictions. Don't take up residency or real estate, shall I say, in your insecurities. So everything that we've gone through up until this moment has built us up for something, right? So in realizing that you have a gift in you, and realizing that there's a talent in you, a knack, a niche, something that nobody else has, or nobody else can do the way you do it. In realizing that, we also have a great responsibility to carry it out. So I want to tell you guys a story, and hopefully you all know it, because I hate to be in a Bible Belt where I'm talking to people who don't know the Bible. But tomato, it is what it is. I'm not judging, no shade. But the story I wanted to tell you guys about was the man who gave talents to these 3 guys. He gave one guy 1 talent. Excuse me, guys. He gave another guy 5 talents, and he gave another guy 2 talents. And the one guy with the 5 talents, he went and traded them in, and he doubled his talent, right? The other guy that had the 2 talents, he did the same thing. The one guy that had the 1 talent, he was like, oh, wait a minute. Let me put this in the ground. Let me preserve it. Let me keep it, because I don't want nothing to happen to it. That's us, ladies. Now, there's a few of us that will double what we got. We will make sure that we go above and beyond to do what God has given us, or we'll go above and beyond for whatever responsibility we may have and hold, especially at work. We'll do it for somebody else. We'll do it for ourselves. We'll do it for our businesses. We will do it for our family. And then we got some people who don't have as much as others, but they make the best of what they have. And then we have some who want to bury that talent, or bury that job, or bury that business, or bury that relationship instead of building on it. Now, when the guy came back to receive what he has given them, of course, the 2 guys that doubled what they had, he was like, well done, my good and faithful servant. Like, since you were so diligent and so I lost the word that I wanted to say, but since you are so faithful over so little, I want to bless you. I want you to come into my presence, my kingdom, my whatever. Like, I want you to be in this overwhelming joy of being in your master's ambiance. So, and then the one guy that had the 1 talent that buried it, he was like, why is my talent dirty? I didn't give it to you like that. And the guy was like, well, I knew you were a hard master, and I didn't want to upset you. I just wanted to give it back to you the way you gave it to me. That's us, or some of us. Like, what is in you, don't bury it. Because if you don't develop it, you're not only hindering somebody else, but you're stunning your own growth. Now, I know everything is evolving. I know we have technology now. When I was coming up, we had just got the cell phones. Like, that was the bomb. We had the 2-way pagers. I don't know if y'all remember those. I remember my sliding pager. That was definitely the bomb, with the little keyboard. They came in like all different colors. They were so cool. I definitely remember the telephones that you had to wind up every number. And so I know that things are evolving. I know that this technology world is kind of taking over at this moment. But guess what? Everybody that has been living up to this point had to evolve in something, right? You didn't just sit on your couch and watch the world pass you. At least I hope you didn't. So sink your feet in to your soul, to your good soul, and start digging and start planting and start growing. Because if you don't, you're going to hinder me, and I need you, right? You're hindering your children, and people don't realize that. We always say, oh, I want my kids to be so much better than me. Well, you got to give them a level. They can't start from the ground, because you own the ground. So you have to give them something. Dr. Randolph said last week, and oh my goodness, it blew my mind. If my ceiling is my kid's roof, like, if my ceiling is my kid's ceiling, there's a problem. I want my ceiling to be so high that once they try to start their lives and start learning and start going through life and start living their destiny. My ceiling should definitely be their floor. I don't want them on the same level as me. I may be accomplishing great things, but I need my kids to accomplish extraordinary things. And we all say that. We all say, I want my kids to be better than me. But you got to get them something to be better than. Because anybody can be average. Anybody can be ordinary. Anybody can be normal. But who wants to be? And I think we make it okay all the time. No, it's not okay. Sorry, I do understand everybody's not an A+ student. I do understand everybody ain't going to college. But let me tell you what I don't understand. I don't understand you sitting at home and just going to work and coming home, work and coming home, work. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you're not inspiring somebody else. I don't understand how you're not inspired to do something else. Even if you just go and volunteer somewhere. I understand everybody can't do everything, but there is something that you are keeping inside of you that somebody else needs. And we can't let it sit. We can't let it fester and rot and mold. We can't do that. So let's say goodbye to that. Let's put that in the past. Let today be your aha day. Let today be the beginning of your tomorrow, the greatest day of your life. Now, looking back over, your childhood, there may be some things that we went through to get us to where we are that we're not proud of or that we can control. Let's talk about that. I want to say, let's talk about sex, baby. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just that person. If I hear something or, it reminds me of a movie or a TV show, I'm just going to, I got to say it or sing it or whatever. So, that's a great topic though. So we will definitely put that one down on the list. But yes, so let's talk about that thing you cannot control. Oh my goodness. Women, just stop. Just stop. Okay, so I can't control what my kids do every day. Okay? I control where they go, where they sleep, where they come home. I can control what they eat. But I can't control what they're going to do every single day, all day long. I can't do it. I cannot control what my supervisor tells me. I cannot control how my coworkers react or respond to something I may say or feel or do. I can't control that. I cannot control the weather. I cannot control what the president's going to do. I cannot control what my pastor may do, what my mother may do. I cannot control anything but Ebony, right? Okay. Why in the world do we get fixated on controlling something we have no control over? I hope somebody actually comments on this. Please tell me. So when I was younger in my marriage, I definitely wanted to work on my emotions. And I made sure I set out a goal every single day. Let me find something. Let me listen to somebody. Let me do something that is going to help me improve my emotions because I don't want them to be out of control. I want my husband to love me. I don't want him to think I'm a nagging wife. I don't want my children to feel like they're in a nagging home or they feel like they are always being condemned for something. I need to control me. I need to control my emotions. So I set a goal. I set out and I did and I accomplished it. I made sure that I was a livable wife. Okay? So I cannot control how my husband's emotions are going to be. I cannot control how my children's emotions are going to be. I can only control me. And a lot of times we get trapped in trying to control something. And then we feel powerless. Oh, here we go. And then our world crumbles. And we feel like we're in this endless loop that continues to go around and around and around and around. Okay, so what happened in your yesterday that made you feel like you had so much power to control something? I hope somebody answers that. Please comment on that. I want to know. Now, I can definitely tell you, I was born into a bossy family. So I do understand genetics. I do understand, just coming from a very headstrong, woman, empowered family, because that was me. Or is me, and I feel like I needed to turn that into something more powerful to help somebody else in their journey, in their walk in life. So that's what I did with my power. That's what I did with my bossiness. That's what I did with my what's the name of my podcast? Boss Wife. That's what I did. That's how I turned my inner control into something powerful. And that's how I'm making a difference with mine. What are you doing with yours? Because the moment in your yesterday that said you can control everything that happens in your life was the moment you started lying to yourself. That was the moment you became the most selfish person in the world, because you feel like you can control everything around you, and you're not considering everybody else around you. You're not considering the outcome of the energy you're putting into that, right? So if I'm taking all of my energy and trying to control the way my husband feels about something that I said, I'm wrong. Do I need to repeat that? I wish y'all could talk back to me. Like, I'm definitely going to do a live one night when I get the nerve up to it. But, like, I really wish y'all could respond to that, because I can't control how he may react to something that I can't control the way I say it. That's what I can control. I can control how I get onto my kids. I can control how I respond, or I can talk to my employees or my coworkers at the hospital. Like, I can control Ebony. That's it. Now, when I apply for this job, I can't control that outcome. Me coming home worrying about, am I going to get it? Reaching out to people, hey, don't you work there? Don't you know somebody? I can't do that. I can't put all my energy into that, because that's the energy that I'm taking away from my kids. That's the energy that I'm taking away from my podcast. That's the energy that I'm taking away from my book. That's the energy that I'm taking away from my coaching business. That's the energy that I'm taking away from my husband. And I ain't got no energy to give away. I don't know about y'all, but I don't. Like, seriously. So hopefully somebody will get the courage up to definitely respond to that question. What in your yesterday made you feel like you could control everything in your life, or everybody in your life, or how everything goes in your life? Because we do. So taking on that responsibility, you're relinquishing something else. So anything that we take on, right? So when I took on building my podcast, writing my books, building a coaching business, raising 4 kids, getting married, actually getting a career in the medical field, working in a hospital, like all of that, I had to give up something. I had to give up sleep. Even when I was working out and losing weight, I gave up some good food, some good drinks. I don't drink alcohol, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I don't do nothing but Jesus and food. So y'all, like, seriously, giving up my good food, oh Lord Jesus. But in everything that I took on my plate, and everything that I already knew I had on my plate, like, I gave up my freedom. And I think that we don't know what that word truly is. And I feel like we really feel that way. Like, people are like, nah, I want my freedom. I want to be free to do this. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to go here. I want to be able just to get up and go. I understand that. I get you. Here's the thing to that, though. Your freedom is in your journey. Your freedom is in your podcast. Because I get to talk about whatever I want. I get to do whatever I want to do. I get to say whatever I want to say. I get to be me. I get to relax. There's freedom in that. There's also freedom in writing my books. There's also freedom in raising my children. They may not feel like they got freedom, but there's freedom in that. There's freedom in marriage, because I get to have sex with my husband whenever I want to. I ain't got to worry about who he's sleeping with, but I have to. But side note, okay. But I ain't got to worry about who he's sleeping with. I ain't got to worry about what he doing. I ain't got to worry about where he been, because there's freedom in my marriage. I get to live with my best friend. I get to talk to him about whatever I want to talk to, and not have to worry about, oh, who he going back to tell. Oh, he going to misconstrue something. There's freedom in everything you do, if you're doing it the right way. We don't have to feel trapped in that moment of trying to control something, because when you're in that moment the endless cycle of nothing is ever going to go right. Nothing I do ever goes right. Oh my God. Seriously, y'all, I have had the biggest struggle with this podcast, and I definitely said that tonight. I'm just going to be honest. Complete disclosure, because I feel like ever since I started it, and that's how I know it's the enemy, but ever since I've started this podcast, I've had so many darn difficulties with my equipment. And I told my husband tonight, why can nothing ever go right on a night that I have to post? Because it feels like the more I get comfortable in talking to you guys, the more I get comfortable in being me, the more I am loving this. I feel like, okay, something goes wrong. My first computer, that second week I think I was supposed to post, oh my God, I was so embarrassed. Like, I felt like the world was ending. Literally, I really did. And I felt like I was going to be judged. Like, oh, she failed. There she goes. Those are those moments I was telling you about that's going to come anyway, that we, allow to come ourselves, not from anybody else. But I had those feelings. Like, I text my agent and I was like, girl, I'm dead. My world is over. It has happened. The biggest fear of my life has happened. And guess what? I made it through it. I lived through it. I'm still on here talking to y'all. Nothing changed. But anyway, the night that I lost my older computer, it crashed. I had recorded everything. I was trying to upload it, and I lost everything. And then it wouldn't even come back on. I don't even really know what it was, but my computer it's really old. I got it when I went back to school, but like the second or third time. No, we're gonna talk about that. But I got it when I went back to school, so it's kind of old and outdated, And so then I got a box to go into my computer to help it run a little bit smoother. And then there was an issue with that. Then there was an issue with the program I was using. And then I said, okay, I just need to get a new computer. Bought a new computer. Literally like 40 days later, I cracked the screen on my computer. And I think I did it last week in traveling and moving my equipment around when I went to go do my interview. But it didn't stop me. I'm still doing it. And I feel like, I felt like tonight, I was having an issue with getting everything to connect and to run. I got a new board, and it's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with all these wires. I don't know how to run a sound system. I don't know how to, I was getting overwhelmed. And I'm like, okay, wait. Let me quiet all that down, because at the end of the day, I'm going to do it. Right? So we can't allow things to stop us and make us feel like, oh God, it's never gonna go right. It ain't gonna go right. It's never gonna go right for me. Nothing I do ever goes right. I can't accomplish this. I can't graduate from school. I keep going to school and I keep having to stop. That was my story, because I don't want to take anything away from my kids. So I felt like, when I went back to school for marketing and advertising, I was pregnant with my third child. I couldn't do it, and I was going to school at night, and I was like, okay, I gotta stop. Then when I went back to school to do marketing and advertising again, I was doing it online, and that's when I got this computer, the older computer. And my kids they were getting up into middle school, and they had so many activities, so much stuff going on. They were requiring so much more, and I said, okay, I'm gonna sacrifice that to do this. So we do it enough to ourselves, right? We don't need anybody else doing it to us. But I said all that to say that yesterday moment that has paid into this feeling of failure, the feeling of confusion, the feeling of never evolving, that powerless feeling, the feeling of this is where I live. This is where I'm going to live for the rest of my life, in this area of nothing, powerless, confusion, numbness, because we get numb in those moments, and it's real. So those are the things that we can control. Those feelings, those emotions, that moment we went through, it's come and it's gone, right? Let's not reflect back on it. Or if there's something to take away from it, definitely get that. Definitely pull that out. But don't hinder yourself Don't stop yourself. Don't say this is it, because it's not it. If your eyes are still open, you're still above 6 feet, you don't have dirt on you, you're not being buried, you're not going down slowly in the casket, it's not over. There's something else for you to do, right? The other thing I really wanted to talk to you guys about before we leave, so I hope you all got that whole escaping moment, the whole stagnated, trapped, powerless moment. I really do. I hope you guys got that. It was very powerful for me. It was a very turning point in my mental health, because I identify with it. I was there, been there, done that, and it's in my yesterday, and I'm not going back to it, right? So before we go, the last couple of things I wanted to talk to you guys about was, this is the big one, right? Something has to end. You're doing too much of what you don't want to do. Lord have mercy. If that ain't every woman's life story. When my kids were younger, we had a cleaning lady, because I already knew it was too much for me, and I just couldn't do it. And I keep my nails done, and the moment I realized that when I kept washing dishes and I kept going to my nail tech, and he was like, Ebony, you got fungus under your hands. And then I had to go to work and wash my hands all day long, because I'm in the medical field. I'm touching people, I'm touching tubes, changing out. And I was like, okay. So something has to give, something has to end, and it's gonna be the dishes. Sorry. Because I just can't put on gloves. I'm sorry. I can't put on gloves and watch it. Because I feel like I couldn't feel them. And I feel like I really wasn't getting the plates clean and stuff. So, and yes, we do have a dishwasher. But it was just the simple fact of, it was just too much moisture. So I gave that up. I can't keep doing stuff I don't want to do. But one thing that I will tell you guys that I have never done is work a job that I never wanted to work. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. There's already things in my life that like I said, I have no control over, right? There's already things in my life that I gotta do. I'm not gonna do something that I just don't want to do. Now, I have been on a job where I've said, okay, I don't really see a future for me here, but I'm gonna work it because I want to be here and I love what I'm doing. I've only worked in retail in the medical field, and I can't remember if I've said it or not, but I'm a certified medical assistant, and I was working in cardiology, which I love. So I was there. I loved it. I didn't really mind doing what I was doing. And then I thought that was going to be my last job. I thought that was going to be my career point where, I was okay with not excelling, because as a medical assistant, I had already reached being the lead nurse for a physician. So there was nowhere else for me to go from there. I will say, I wanted to be like the supervising MA, but not really. Like, I thought I did, but not really, because it was really nowhere else for me to go. So I was okay with being there. I was okay with stunning my growth at that place. And then God said, no, I don't want you there, because I need you to do something else, and then I need you to free up some time so that you can actually do what I've called you to do other than provide for your family. So he moved me to this job that I'm on now, and I have birthed so many great things since I've been here. Birthed them out of me, not on this job, out of me. And allowing myself to be okay with doing something I didn't really see a future in doing, it's just not okay. So I wanted to give you guys, a little something to nibble on, because a lot of things happen unexpectedly, right? A lot of things are forced upon us. We go through a lot of traumatic things. We go through losing loved ones. We go through losing friendships. We go through losing lovers. We go through losing children. Oh my gosh. We go through a lot of devastating and traumatic things in our lives. And doing something that you just don't want to do, it's not one of those things that you have to do. So, looking over your yesterday, what made you say, okay, I can put up with this? Let me do it to make ends meet, or let me do it to satisfy this person. I don't really want to do it, but I want to see them satisfied. I want to see them happy. So I'm going to do it. Even though it's putting me out, even though it's making me go out of my way, even though I got to drive 30 minutes to their house to pick them up, to go drop them off somewhere that I'm not even going, I'll do it. I just can't. I refuse to, because there's, like I said, there's already going to be things in life that are going to kind of pause us, that are going to kind of say halt and then go, and just doing something that is not going to help me grow, not going to help me succeed, doesn't really benefit my life. It's going to make me age faster. It's going to make me gain weight. It's going to make me lose my hair. No. If I can't get my nails done, I just can't do it. I'm being comical, but I'm being dead serious. We cannot allow people to put their drama on us. We can't allow life to throw us a curve. Well, let me rephrase that. When life throws us a curveball, we can't allow that curveball to keep us in that ball. Because somebody is depending on you. Somebody's needing you to do whatever it is that's in you that you got to do. Because if you don't do you, you won't be done, right? And I can't do you. Your daughter can't do you. Your husband can't do you for you. Your sons can't do you for you. You have to do you, and don't hinder somebody else. Look in your future. Look into your future. Go ahead and speak your future. Go ahead and acknowledge your future. Go ahead and make plans. Draw it out. Go ahead and accuse yourself of succeeding. Nobody else is going to do that for you. Yeah, we got people that boost us. We have people that encourage us. But the main person who needs to encourage you is that person that's looking back at you in the mirror every morning when you're doing those 5 tips that I gave you. Stand in the mirror. Call out everything negative about you that you think. Because after everything comes out that's negative, there's nothing left but positivity. There's nothing left but greatness. We need you to claim or to move your real estate. Go to your future. Stake your claim. Be done. Because then when you hit that mark, now it's time to go buy a house in Maui. Now it's time to go move across the country. That's how your future should be. No. We don't need to put limitations on it. Because yesterday doesn't define your tomorrow. Yesterday only helps you get to your tomorrow. So look back, reflect. Don't ignore it, because there was something there that you needed. There was something there that made you great. There was something there that made you this powerful, motivated entrepreneur, extremely lovable, cherishable woman. There's something there that made you this great mother that can't be taken away from you. So yes, we need to reflect on tomorrow, but we do not need to stay. We need to reflect on yesterday, but we don't need to stay in yesterday. We need to evolve. We need to move on. We need to say, thank you. See ya. Not looking back. Right? And let me explain that, because I feel like people are like, what did you just say? Okay, so you want to reflect, but you don't want to put that rearview mirror up and continue to stare in it, because then you can't drive forward. You can't move forward. You can't excel because you're too fixated on the past. That's what I mean. Reflect, acknowledge, reminisce, ponder, think. Yes. Aha. OMG. Oh, holy crap. Oh, doggone. Yes. Give those moments their probability. Give them their stage. But don't leave them up there. They're just the starters. They're not the whole concert. Okay? So thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I did want to read this this quote that I like to read. Okay, here goes. It's called Take Control of Your Thoughts. Taking control of your thoughts is not always easy. It takes strength. But just like anyone can become physically strong, anyone can become mentally strong through efforts and practice. At first, taking control of your thoughts may feel difficult, but it'll begin to feel natural with practice. As your journey, you will find the practice of taking control of your thoughts and fixing your mind on goodness, abundance, and hope to be an integral part of experiencing the fulfillment of dreams. Because we live in our thoughts, and while we cannot always handpick our experiences and the circumstances we encounter, we can shape our circumstances to benefit us with our thoughts. So get to it. Give this week your best. Work hard and let your purpose drive you to take control of your thoughts and move with joy. There's magic in your bones. Thank you guys for joining Boss Wife. Please like, share, comment, and please subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Please comment on anything that I've said. Please try to answer those questions that I put out there. I love you guys, and I hope to see you and spend time with you next Tuesday. Talk to you soon.